Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you how I make my own makeup wipes at home. They are seriously so easy to make. It's actually a joke. You can throw them together in like 2 minutes and they last for such a long time. You will save so much money in the long run, but also these wipes are completely non-toxic. If you download the Think Dirty app, if you haven't already, you totally should, and you look at like normal makeup wipes you can buy at like CVS or Target or wherever, they have fragrance first off, but also typically like a lot of just weird ingredients in there that are not good for our bodies or our skin. So it is just way better to make them for yourself because A, you save a lot of money and you're not putting anything that's weird on your skin. I have actually done a blog post already about how I make these, but it is kind of easier to see someone, do it where you can actually watch. So you guys were asking for a video, so I finally just ran out of my wipes and I need to make them again. So I thought I'm going to film the process so you guys can see how I make them. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to share with you guys all the things you're going to need to make them. And the first thing is you're gonna need something to store them in. So I actually use this glass jar. I got it from Target. It's a 64-ounce glass jar if you wanted to get this exact one. I've also seen people do these, like they'll put their wipes in like a Ziploc plastic container or just like a Tupperware container. If you get one that's like 2 quarts size, that should fit them. But this actually fits the wipes perfectly. You do kind of have to shove the paper towels in there a little bit, which you'll see, but this is like the perfect size and I love using this. Plus it looks really cute in my bathroom. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need is some paper towels. So these are what are actually going to be our wipes, but we're not going to use the whole roll. We're actually going to cut it in half, and that is what you'll use to make your wipes. So for the paper towels, I would recommend getting, like a slightly nicer brand, just because you don't want them to, you don't want to go through this whole process and then have your wipes like tip, tear, and rip on you. That would just be a bummer. So make sure, you get a good quality brand. I actually use the ones from Costco. It's like the Kirkland brand and they work great. And then one more tip as far as paper towels go, you definitely want to get the ones that have like the Select-A-Sheet. So they are the smaller sheets versus like the one big wide paper towel, because you just don't need all of that as a makeup wipe. Just a half sheet is perfect, so I always like to get those. You are also going to need some kind of soap. I like using Dr. Bronner's. It is a totally non-toxic soap. I like getting the unscented one. I got mine on Amazon, but you can also, I see this at Target, Trader Joe's carries it as well, so it's pretty easy to find. And then also some coconut oil as well. So I'm typically like finicky when it comes to coconut oil on my face. I don't use any kind of coconut oil on my skin as far as my face goes, just because it's pretty comedogenic. It can break you out and I just like don't want to go there. But since it's like not that much on every individual wipe, and I also use this as a makeup wipe, so I'm washing my face immediately after, I haven't had a problem with it. But you could always try any other carrier oil, like jojoba oil would work, or you could use argan oil, anything like that, grapeseed oil, rosehip oil, whatever you want, but I'm just going to be using coconut oil. And then last but not least, you're going to need some essential oil. So I am going to be using lavender. It smells so good. I never used to like oh my god, I never used to like the smell of lavender. Anything lavender scented I just wasn't a fan of. But then once I got a real actual pure lavender essential oil and it smells exactly like the plant, I was like, oh wow, I actually like lavender scented, or the lavender plant itself. I just don't like lavender scented things, which is interesting. But so I like using this for my makeup wipes. Lavender is so soothing for skin, so it's great for makeup wipes, but also I always use these at night when I'm taking off my makeup, so it's also just like really nice and just kind of calming at night, which I really like. And then the very last thing you're going to need is some water. So you want to make sure, this is so important, that you are using distilled water when you make these. And if you don't have to buy distilled water in the store, you can literally just boil tap water and then let it cool a little bit, and that can be what you use. That's what I do. But the reason you want distilled water is because it's going to kill off any bacteria that could be in the water. If you just use regular old tap water, you run the risk of your wipes getting moldy, which would be a shame. I've never had that issue. This last batch I made, I've had for months sitting in my bathroom, so I've had 0 issues with that. So you want to make sure that you use distilled water. It's super important. Okay, so I've got my jar here, and the very first thing you need to do is actually cut the paper towel roll in half, because we're only going to need half, and it will look like this. So I've actually already cut one. My only tip for this is just use a non-serrated knife. If you use a knife that is serrated and has all those little edges, you're just gonna get like paper towel fragments and dust everywhere. So just use a smooth, non-serrated knife and you should be able to cut right through it with no problem and barely have any mess. So once you have your little half paper towel, we are next going to kind of shove it down into the jar and get it ready to sprinkle all the goodness on top of it. Now we've got our paper towels in there. If they're sticking out a little bit, that's okay. They're honestly gonna kind of, once they're wet, they'll slide down a little bit anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. So the next thing we're gonna do is actually create our little mixture of the oils, the soap, the distilled water, and that is what we're gonna pour on top of the paper towels. So I will leave all of the exact measurements for the recipe down below so you guys can reference it, but I'm gonna be using 2 cups of distilled water. And like I said, I just boiled some water, so it's, you know, pretty hot. I did let it cool a little bit. You want it to be warm enough that the coconut oil can melt, but not super hot that you're gonna compromise potentially the essential oil. So I'm gonna use 2 cups of distilled water, and then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and then I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of my Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, and then lastly, I'm going to add 10 drops of my lavender essential oil, and I'm just gonna mix everything up. Wipes are just about done. I just poured everything in there, and when you first pour all the liquid in, it does kind of take a while for the paper towels to fully absorb it. So if you're looking at it and you're still seeing like a lot of paper towels or areas that are still dry, just have faith. I promise it will spread completely throughout. It just takes a little while. So we are almost done, but there is still one step remaining, which is just to remove the inner cardboard tube from the roll of paper towels. That is it. Our wipes are all ready to go, and as you can see, when you kind of pull out the inner cardboard tube, it starts to pull out the first paper towel of the roll. So it kind of gives you your first little wipe, and then you're able to just keep pulling from the center and using them as makeup wipes. So again, so easy and totally non-toxic, will save you money. These are amazing and they last a really long time. I do want to make one quick note when it comes to the essential oils. You definitely want to do your research and be choosy. I personally decided to go with Young Living. I'm not going to go into the whole, you know, all the reasons behind that now in this video, but I have done a blog post on it. So if you're curious and want to check it out, I will leave that link down below so you can find out why I personally trust them, especially when you're putting stuff on your skin. You just want to be really cautious and careful and make sure you really do your research. Also, just a tip for how I actually use these. So I would say they're not quite as wet as like store-bought makeup wipes, but they still can work really well. I always use some kind of oil to break up all my makeup and start to remove it first. I love using jojoba oil. You can get it on Amazon or from Trader Joe's. I will just kind of lightly just rub my face with jojoba oil and it starts to break down all of my makeup, including my mascara, and then I will go in with one of my makeup wipes to just kind of remove all of that makeup that's been broken up. And then whatever mascara is like left over, I just remove with my face wash. Because you don't, no matter what makeup wipes you're using, you don't want to be like harshly rubbing that sensitive skin around your eyes. So just kind of a tip for usage for these. That is what has worked the best for me. So that is it for the DIY makeup wipes video. I know you guys have been so excited and anxious to see like a video demo of how I do these. So I'm really excited to have this video out for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other oily videos you want to see, I haven't been doing a whole lot of that here on my channel, but it is a huge part of my life. I use them every single day and I'm absolutely like head over heels obsessed with oils. So if you have any other oily videos you want to see, let me know and I can try and make that happen. But yeah, so if you are enjoying my videos overall, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe and join my little community here on YouTube. And of course, if we are not friends, on Instagram, I would love to be. I'm on there all the time and would love to hang out with you guys on there as well. But that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.